I'm delighted to welcome onto the Precision Property Marketing sofa, Matt Giggs of Giggs & Co. With 20 years experience in the industry, he's been the #1 estate agent in 13 different locations, and in 2012 he set up his own agency which reached #1 within just 5 months of opening. And if that isn't enough, he runs 4 other businesses and is married to the lovely Mel and has 3 beautiful children too. So how does he do it? Let's find out. So great success to date, Matt. How did it all begin?
I was 19. My mum knew I wasn't particularly happy at college. I went and decided to sell hard disk drives. The company closed down within 6 months, so I obviously wasn't very good at that. So my mum said, look, there's a job, an estate agency role in the town, and she suggested I go apply. I didn't drive at the time, so I thought I was never going to get it. She said, go on, just go down and ask. So I did, and I managed to convince them to give me an interview. And that's where it began at the age of 19. And 3 interviews later, I got offered my first role as a trainee sales negotiator, making tea and coffee, and that was it.
What do you love about your job?
People. Most people get confused this industry with property. It's actually about people. If you're great with people, if you love people, if you love helping people, you'll be amazing at it. We don't attract enough people that love people. We probably attract people that love money or property over people. You've got to serve at the highest level, and you have to love people to do that.
Who's influenced your career the most and why?
Certainly 2 that have made a massive positive impact on me. One was a guy called Ben Taylor when I was 21, and I'd had a couple of years in the industry, and I came back to Countrywide at the time, and I worked for Ben, and I looked at him in awe, and he could turn every situation round. And there's a guy called Anthony Eakins who I've known for a good 15 years, and he lives in my town, and he is estate agency class personified. He makes it look and sound very, very easy, and he's very driven on giving great service and building great teams. So those guys.
What has been the highlight of your professional career so far?
Starting my own company, without a doubt. And probably the first year as a business owner, and what we achieved in that year was unthinkable. You know, we came in, set up 2.5 miles from the town centre, and we absolutely took the place, and it was brilliant. It wasn't something that I expected us to do, so it was a huge privilege, and we went on to win awards and recruit more people. We even sold a house for £12 million in London. Year 1 in business was just phenomenal.
What's the biggest challenge to Giggs & Co at the moment?
You've got to get your culture right. If you get your culture right, you're going to get your recruitment right, you're going to get your clients right. Everything comes if you know exactly where you're going and who you are. Getting that continually worked on is the biggest challenge, because day to day we live in a world where there's different pressures coming in and threats, and you're hearing all these great stories about how you can't do it. Keeping our focus on what we can do the whole time rather than listening to the crap that goes on is the big thing for us. So shutting out that and having time to focus on what we can do.
Do you see online agents as a threat to the traditional agent?
I think if you're a traditional agent and you don't do anything differently, without a doubt. If you're an agent that delivers exceptional service and you really sharpen your saw and you go at it and you really make that experience fantastic for people, they'll be a good thing for you. There'll be a big stake at where's one end and then where's the other. What's going to happen is the middle ground's going to disappear and get sucked up, and you should have an online offer. Why shouldn't people have a cheap alternative to selling their home? Whether we want to argue the toss about how much they actually get or not for the end value is irrelevant. People should have a choice, and you need to make yourself a choice in either field and not get down that middle path, which a lot of people seem to be going down at the moment.
What's your honest opinion of Purple Bricks?
I think they've done really, really well. I think their recruited campaigns look good. I don't agree with their philosophy, but that's because I believe in the concept of working for selling the house, not listing it. I don't think you should get paid in our business to do something that you haven't done. I don't agree with that myself, but do I think they've done really well? And are they, when you think of online, who do you think about? Of course you think about Purple Bricks, and I think there are vendors out there, 10-15% of the market, just want to pay the least amount possible because they don't value what estate agents actually do, and I think that's probably because estate agents actually haven't demonstrated that over the years.
What advice would you give to an agent just starting out?
Get a coach, get a mentor, know your vision, know your culture, and clearly plan to your goal. Don't just go at it and try and do a bit of everything. Be very, very clear on what your purpose is.
What have you learned most about this industry?
To be yourself. Don't worry about what other people think. If you do what you believe in, you'll do really, really well. If you do what you think other people want you to do and other people believe in, you're only going to do it half as well.
How do you see the future of estate agency?
The key is getting the right people into the business. So I think the right people out there at the moment are people that have got a learning ambition. They want to grow, they want to be successful, they want to help people and serve people. And I think a lot of people want their own time. You're going to attract people like mothers who can't be in the office at 9 o'clock but are really great with people, really want to understand the properties that they're selling, really want to be able to answer the questions. Because I think when people think of estate agency over the last 10, 15 years, especially with the introduction of likes of Rightmove, where leads are just filtered through to you, is that the relationship connection between the seller or buyer and the agents kind of gradually disintegrated, because people have found that you can just sell a house by getting a lead, and actually it's still relationship driven. So you want relationship people in the business, which is why I think self-employed agents are going to come in, individual brokers going under like a banner. I think that's going to become bigger, and I think what Purple Bricks have done with recruiting self-employed people has proved that there's a lot of people out there that want to be in control of their own time and have their own business.
And one final question. If you didn't do the job you do now, what would you do and why?
I'd love to be a barrister, I think. Something like that, where you're able to be in court and represent someone. So I think I enjoy the questioning and understanding of people. So yeah, something that would really bring out the skills and understanding of people even more.